Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the La Penta Student Union Building on the campus of Iona College. We are live in the WICR station for another episode of Sports Universe. Long week. No co-host today. Brendan is unable to make it as he has a couple conflicts with work he's dealing with. So it'll be a quick show today, probably only a segment or two. We're going to start off with New York Jets 2019 offseason plan, including draft and free agents, guys who I expect them to target and guys who are on their radar already. So to give you a little background on what the Jets are looking at for the draft and for free agency, they're sitting a number 3 overall pick in the draft. Not really in the need of a quarterback as they drafted Sam Darnold, obviously, last year. So it's going to be very interesting to see which kind of direction the team looks to go. In my opinion, I believe they should go somewhere on the defensive side, as the offensive talent in the draft and free agency is not as high as it has been in recent years. A pass rusher or an edge rusher is ideal for the Jets. Someone inside that could play in the 4-3 defense under Greg Williams would be the best fit. Guys like Quinnen Williams from Alabama, defensive tackle, you can pair him inside with Leonard Williams. That would be probably one of the most dynamic interior lineman duo, excuse me, in the NFL if they were to pull through and get him at number 3. Josh Allen from Kentucky is an edge rusher. Yeah, he's from Montclair, actually, in Jersey, so he's a hometown kid. That would be another suitable option for them on the edge, a guy that can get double-digit sacks year in and year out. And the third guy that I've seen many people have said that they're interested in targeting, Nick Bosa, defensive end from Ohio State, the likely number 1 overall pick in the draft to the Arizona Cardinals. But we've seen crazy things happen in the NFL draft, whereas you never know who's going to slip to what pick, as you saw last year with Darnold coming to the Jets at 3. We expected to go 1. Jamal Adams slipping to 6 for the Jets, and as well as Leonard Williams slipping to 6. They have had very good luck with marquee guys, highly rated guys on draft boards falling to them in the draft. In my opinion, as I had mentioned before, I think that the Jets need to go pass rush. And a guy that always comes to my mind when I think about pass rush in this year's draft is Josh Allen. He's very athletic. He's versatile. 6'4", athletic, can run, can do some pass coverage stuff if he would like him to. But he's mainly known for his edge rush and getting to the quarterback, which is a big factor in today's NFL. I think that he would fit in the 4-3 defense tremendously off the edge, with Leonard Williams inside and up-and-coming rookie from last year, Nathan Shepard, looking to make that jump in his second year. It would definitely complement the Jets' defensive line, get some pass rush on the quarterback, which will cause more turnovers for the secondary as they are looking to ball hawk with Jamal Adams, Tremaine Johnson, and Marcus May. So now that I've covered a little bit of the first round of our draft, for the Jets, we're going to go into free agency in the offseason. So this offseason, it's a defensive heavy draft or defensive heavy free agency class, starting at the top with probably the best player available. That's going to be on a decent deal. You're not going to really have to overpay him too much. DeMarcus Lawrence, defensive end from the Cowboys. I'm not sure if he's actually going to hit the market as a free agent, as he is most likely going to get the franchise tag from Dallas, which would owe him upwards of $15 million a year if he were to sign that deal. If not, he could pull Le'Veon Bell, not sign, and sit out all season and lose out on the money, but ultimately become a free agent the year after. Speaking of Le'Veon Bell, he probably comes in as the second best free agent in this year's class, one of the most coveted free agents a lot of teams are going to be after, and one of those teams that is going to be after Le'Veon Bell will be the New York Jets, with around $100 million in cap space and a big need for a weapon on the offensive side out of the backfield. Bell seems like the perfect fit in New York. It's just a matter of general manager Mike McCagnon pulling the trigger and going after him. Is he worth the risk on and off the field? He has had some character issues in the past, but has seemed to sweep those under the rug in the past couple of years with his play and his good behavior off the field. He has a history off the field with substance abuse. For all of you that don't know, he really can't seem to stay off the weed, it seems like. But in the recent 3-4 years, he hasn't really done much off the field. So that's a good sign for him in the future, not only as a football player but as a person. He's going to want upwards or around $20 million a year. It's going to break what Todd Gurley signed an extension with the Rams earlier in the season. With that being said, is it worth it to spend $20 million on a running back who's 26 years old on a 3-4 year deal where you can have him till you're 30? Is he going to be healthy all the time? Is he going to be a cancer in your locker room? It's up to the general management and him, ultimately himself, to see what goes on with that. In my opinion, I think that if you can get him at the right price, go for it. He'll help Darnold out. He'll be a security blanket. He'll do everything you need him to do. But if he's asking for 20, $25 million, let him go somewhere else. You can find running backs late in the draft, third and fourth round, as you've seen with, excuse me, Alvin Kamara, Philip Lindsay. Actually, Philip Lindsay undrafted. Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt. All these guys you can snag third, fourth, fifth round, even undrafted, as you've seen with Philip Lindsay last year. So there's no need to really overpay for a running back. You have him on his rookie deal for 3-4 years. If he wants to take a cheap deal, boom, you re-sign him. If he wants a big deal, you let him walk and you draft another one. It seems that they're coming. If you're in the right system and you have a running back that's talented enough to be able to read lines and go through the holes, then you're going to be fine in the future. I feel like running back's not really as much of a need. Yes, Le'Veon Bell would be nice, and I have a gut feeling the Jets are going to sign him. But at the end of the day, it's not really a necessity. I'd rather spend the money elsewhere. Another free agent on the defensive side, Jadeveon Clowney. He doesn't seem like he's going to hit the market. They're using the franchise tag on Clowney, so it looks like he's going to be staying in Houston for a little longer. Trey Flowers is a surprising guy. I didn't see you get used on the franchise tag defensive end on the Patriots. Had a very good postseason, a very good season this year. That is a guy who I could see the Jets going after, throwing money at, stealing him from New England. He's a guy that could shore up the D-line, get you 10-plus sacks a year. But it all comes down to a price. And if you want to be a contender in this league, you're going to have to throw money at guys. It depends on the guys you throw it at. You got to throw it at the right guys. I don't know if Trey Flowers is the right guy. I mean, yes, he's a solid pass rusher in the NFL, and he gets it done in a system in New England where it seems like you plug anybody on that defensive line and they're making plays. That's just my opinion. Trey Flowers, he's only 20. He's 25. I mean, it's a good age to get a big max deal at. But last season, he 7.5 sacks, 25 assisted tackles, and 57 total tackles. That's pretty good for a defensive end. In 2017, which was his first year in New England, I believe, he had 6.5 sacks. So he's gotten over 6.5 sacks two of the last 2 seasons. I mean, solid, but it's not what you're gonna want to throw a guy $18 million to do for you. So like, I would honestly stay away from Trey Flowers if I was the Jets. D Ford gonna get franchise tag. Landon Collins seems to be on the market after he cleaned out his locker with the Giants. Yeah, we do have Jamal Adams playing strong safety, but I feel like if you can go out and get Landon Collins on a cheap deal and pair them up, watch out, NFL. Couple under the radar guys that not many people are talking about: Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus Joyner. Looks like Mathieu is most likely going to stay in Houston. Joyner might get the franchise tag again this year from the Rams. He's a solid safety out there in the NFC West. Ziggy Ansah, defensive end from the Lions. I could see another guy the Jets going after. On the offensive side, other than Le'Veon Bell, there really isn't much talent. I mean, Tevin Coleman is a good fallback option at running back if you don't sign Bell. On the offensive line, Matt Paredes from the Broncos is a guy that I definitely want the Jets to get. All it takes is really one interior lineman to not shore up your entire offensive line, but have it flow better and have them have a lot more chemistry. The center of your line is basically the quarterback of your offense. He's changing blocking schemes. He's shifting pass protection. If you watch a center in the game, he's always talking. He's always moving. He is the quarterback of the offensive line. With a guy like Paredes coming in, who has played with talented quarterback in Peyton Manning, knows what it's like to work an offense. I think it'll help not only the offense, but it'll help the development of Sam Darnold. Roger Saffold, offensive guard, another guy coming from the Rams, who I could see the Jets going after, maybe to shore up that O-line a little bit. O-line is going to be huge for the Jets in this offseason. You got a 21-year-old quarterback on a rookie deal who has shown flashes of being an elite quarterback in the NFL. You don't want to jeopardize an Andrew Luck situation with Sam Darnold. You got to protect him. You got to give him weapons. That's the only way he's going to grow and flourish in the NFL. I see the Jets doing that. I see them acing the draft. I see them doing a very good job in the offseason. I don't know about acing it. I give them maybe my estimation is probably like a B minus B range. I feel like they're going to overpay for some guys in needs that they don't really have to, that they can deal without it until there are better guys out there. But ultimately, I think that if they end up doing what they're supposed to do in this offseason and the draft, I feel like they can put themselves in contention for a wild card in the AFC and set themselves up to take over the AFC East once the Brady Belichick era is done in New England. That about wraps up my New York Jets offseason plan for 2019. That'll be my only segment of the day. Thank you for tuning into Sports Universe. Hopefully, Brendan will be back next week so we can have a little bit of a back and forth banter. Maybe we'll have a guest on. I know a couple people from school have been asking me. So stay tuned. Friday, 3 o'clock, Sports Universe will be back with a co-host and a potential guest star. So we'll see you then. Thank you for all that tuned in.